So, wonderful. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to the world and our Facebook friends and family. I'm so excited. It's Monday. It's till June, 30th of June. It's 4:30 UK time, 6:30 Bulgarian time, and we're having Netty Bryan on board. Hey. Netty, welcome.
Hi.
Just in a second, I'm going to introduce you. I'm Galia Akimova, and I'm your well-being concierge, and you're with us. And every Monday, success is in our identity. And why I'm doing this, why I'm having these wonderful people with us in your favor, to help everyone who is up to make changes in your life, in your business. You want to grow emotionally, spiritually, financially. You want to grow. You're very welcome. Please, watching us live now, share, like, make comments, ask questions. If you watch after in replay, also please interact with us. We'll come back to you. Netty will come back to you. We're live streaming now through my page, Facebook page, Netty's Facebook page as well. And it is Power Up House, I promise you. I know Netty for quite a few years now. We never met in person, but we clicked through the internet, through Facebook, and I can say she's a great lady. She helped me a lot with the business and with my emotions to move forward in life as well. So I cherish very much her work. And here she is tonight with us. So who is she? She's a faith, money, and business coach. She's a founder of the Power Up Academy, Coaching Academy. What she helped me with to tidy up my head. This is, well, more than a year ago now. And I have created this, I came up with this 4A star program, which is the steps I am actually using and following in my coaching is Y4A: acknowledge, accept, analyze, and action, take an action. And it is, I recommend to everyone, you'll hear more about this later. But also, her background is actually very interesting. What she studied, social media, marketing, justice, restorative justice. She also worked, and you've been in the social services as well.
Social services, yes.
Okay, so she is a great mentor and she is a public speaker. Both of us, we've been trained by Andy Harrington. And recently, even she returned from Dubai because of that reason. Well, as she has that great experience, but also as a pastor in, and she's ordained pastor, and she's been working in divine interventions, so internationally ministry. So Netty, you're very welcome. If I miss something with your background, please, you just add it up.
Oh, no, absolutely fine. Thank you, Galia. It's a great privilege to be here to share this time with you today. And thank you for the invitation. I feel really, really privileged. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, great people meeting, and we meet for certain reasons at the time when we really need, and we just continued forward in life and helping each other. And what I decided to do, what actually is one of my gifts, and I'm so happy to invite all of you, and thank you for your time up front, that you're here to share your knowledge, but also to give. And this is our giving time to everyone who is on that page and wants to take, to drink from it and to grow. So what I'm going to ask you firstly to start with your very rich background, how faith helped you to move forward in life and in business, because it's never flat line. We all know this.
Yeah, that's a really, really great question, Galia. And
Thank
you
you.
know, to be fair, you know, faith has been the bedrock of my life. You know, I was born into a family of faith. You know, my parents both are very strong Christians, and you know, I was one of three sisters, and for me, I was the middle child. So, you know, I was kind of like the naughty girl. But even in those times of me straying away, and you know, I've always had faith in the background. Faith has always been that foundation that I've springboarded back to when times have got hard. So, you know, you asked me the question about how faith has been there for me throughout my life. Well, I've been on the planet over 50 years. I won't say how many over the 50, but over 50 years now. And there's been many, countless times that I can go back into my history and my catalogue of life and say, well, if it wasn't for my faith, I don't know how I would have got through that particular thing. Now, you know, many people who know me for any length of time know my story, that I came, you know, I was brought up in a very religious household. And then I moved away from that, and I entered into a relationship very too young, before my time. And, you know, that was very tumultuous, which resulted in me having to seriously rely heavily on my faith to bring me through, because it was laden with abuse, you know, of different categories, and for a very, very long time. So I really had to depend on the backdrop of my faith to keep me through every day, to even wake me up some days, you know. And if it wasn't for that instilling of that belief that, you know, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, I applied that to every particular area of my life. And admittedly, there were times when I had completely lost my faith, because when you're stricken down by life or circumstances or situations and issues, sometimes your faith becomes very weak, as we know. And then, of course, you know, I would need to lean on other people to help me to strengthen my faith through those times, to help me to really realize that I can get through. And it was me, you know, just focusing my mindset, fixing my mindset on things outside of my circumstance, fixing my mindset on heavenly things, and really, you know, getting to a point where I had to totally depend on God in my life, in my money, and in my business affairs, because we know that we go through a time of testing, right? And that testing will either make us, or that testing will break us. And it's true, isn't it? You know,
Yes.
And you know, one thing, Galia, that I do thank God for is the fact that in my younger years, I watched my mother go through so many different testings with her mental health, and you know, battling and fighting, you know, different things. And it was watching her resilience, it was watching her level of ability to bounce back, that I think was the thing that I admired the most about her, which helped me and my sisters actually become strong. Because even though we might have been going through things, even though we might have been weak, we naturally were able to be strong, because we saw her depending on the word of God. We saw her depending on her prayer and her faith in God, and we drew from that. Our strength literally drew from that. So that's the reason why I believe, for me, faith is imperative, and I lead with that in my life and in my business. It's all over the internet, as you know, and I think it's a very important component.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. May I cut you here just to continue further? But knowing in which world we are living right now, and we have seen, we have witnessed, we went through ourselves, particularly me, through a lot of challenges, and many people are really giving up with life and business. You know, the mental health, how increased, shoot the sky all over the world, but we know the statistics in UK, in America. I don't know much about in Bulgaria, where it's kind of different mentalities, but it's really, people don't find the reason to continue with life, or they're so devastated when it comes to the small business or to the startup. So what is your advice to people actually who are exactly on that edge of life, all business? To give up or to continue it? And how would they to get this strength from?
Yeah, sure. Let's tackle it from, you've asked me quite a lot of questions in that question, so I'm gonna sort of see how I can break that down for you.
Please.
So the question I believe you want me to answer is, what kind of guidance and advice would I give somebody who is on the edge of life? Yeah. And they're perhaps thinking of giving it up because of certain things that's happened to them, or they just feel like they can't face another day, perhaps. Is that right? Is that my understanding?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So to that person who might be watching today, and you feel like, what, you've had enough, you're going through some challenges, and you don't know whether tomorrow is right for you or not. My guidance and my advice would be is to think about the impact that your life will have in terms of the abilities and the resources and what you can bring to the world. But I think first and foremost, you have to think about your worth. You've got to think about your own personal being, because as Galia talks a lot, it's all about identity. It's all about knowing that you are valuable. So first and foremost, you have to get in tune with yourself and understand that you are valuable. That's it for me. And you have to understand that things come and things go. We have the sun one moment, then we have the moon, we have light and we have darkness. So the stage that you are in right now is not your forever state. It's temporal. And here's one thing that I do know is that a lot of people who are struggling with emotional, psychological, thought processes that are not positive, oftentimes what I've seen in the industry is that they will tend to make a permanent decision over a temporal situation. Okay.
Very true. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I believe everybody is hearing and getting this. Don't make the decision, long-term decision, permanent decision on these short-term circumstances in your life.
Absolutely, Galia. And I feel that if you want to just you've got to take time to analyze. I think the key thing is getting clarity about, whatever you're going through in your life, and actually really thinking, well, what's the worst that can happen? What if that situation—
Great question.
Right now, yeah? What if that situation you're going through right now wasn't there? Step into a space of other and observe it and think about, well, what advice would you give a friend or a colleague if they were going through what you were going through right now? And then just take on that advice for yourself. And that kind of works both in life and business. If you're in the business realm, you're just starting out and you don't know which way to turn, I think that was the second part of your question.
Correct.
You don't know what to do. Then for me, there are—
Call Netty.
Yeah, you can call me. Absolutely. But before that, the first thing that you need to get is absolute clarity. You need to know your purpose. You need to know your reason for being, your raison d'etre. Why did God put you on this earth? Because it certainly wasn't to just eat, sleep, and go to the bathroom, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we were all born with a purpose. And for me, one of the worst things that could ever happen is that you live your life not really finding out exactly what that purpose is. And the way that you want to be doing that, the way that you want to be thinking about finding out your purpose, is by looking at 4 areas. And I like to call it stepping into the divine will of God. Some people in the Japanese will call it finding your ikigai. All right. But there are 4 areas that you need to look at. Number 1 is, what are you good at right now? What is the thing that you're good at? And once you find that thing that you're good at, you then need to find out, well, who in the world needs what I have? So who is that person that is out there that needs what I have? The third thing is, you've got to find the people that need it, as I mentioned. Then you've got to find out whether it's something you can get paid for. Okay. And then finally, is it something that you love? So when you marry all of those 4 elements together, that means that you've found that thing that you could do, whether you get paid or whether you don't. It's that thing that you get up in the morning thinking, oh my goodness, I'm just so in love with what I do. Okay. And when you find that that thing, that special thing, that means you're going to be passionate about working in that specific area. And really, if you're stuck, it is just a matter of really exploring those 4 questions, finding the answer to it, and then of course getting yourself a great coach to able to help you to find out the next steps.
Absolutely. Thank you. And because we just opened the lid and towards the business, and let's go further to people who are already in the business, but who are a bit lost. They don't have the system. They really stuck and don't know where to take, which way to take. What advice? Because here it comes actually your Power Up coaching academy, and where you're showing people, you're helping with to tidy up their system.
Sure. Thank you, Galia. It's a great question there.
Welcome.
So my first thing is, if you are already in business and you're not serving in the way that you want to, then definitely you need to think about gaining some clarity. Firstly, about who it is that you want to serve. That's always the first place there. I find a lot of entrepreneurs, when I ask that question, so tell us who it is that you want to serve and what do you do? They're like, I want to help everybody. But of course we can't, can we? We can't help everybody, even if that is your heart of service. So you need to be very clear about who you want to serve, who God has called you to work with. That's the most important thing. And of course, you may start out working with a few different people, but eventually you'll find that synergy of that person. And when you find that perfect fit, it's going to be like hand in glove. Okay, so that's the first thing. Find out who you want to work with. Then secondly, you need to find out and have what I like to term an expert signature system. And what I mean by that is that you have a signature process that you walk your clients through that gets them towards that end transformation, that result that they're hiring you for in the first place. And a lot of entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs and male entrepreneurs, really do get stuck on this because they're either coaching by the hour, coaching by the session, and actually they should really be packaging up their expertise into a process, what I like to call unique to you process, that they then can showcase their brilliance to their ideal clients. And it also shows them the pathway that they can walk them through. So that's kind of what I would say. And then, of course, once you've got that, you then want to be packaging that up in a way, almost like the container that you then serve to your ideal clients. That could be in a 3-month program, a 6-month program, a 9-month program, or a year-long mastermind, or even a VIP day. So for me, these are the fundamentals to get you started. Find out firstly what you're passionate about. Find that thing that you could do every single day, whether you're paid or not, because that then gives you the bandwidth to work on your business. Okay, because what we find is a lot of people are working in it and not spending enough time working on their business.
True.
Then, yeah. So then you want to again get your expert signature system, and then from that you'll put it into a container of packages. And then, of course, you will get your pricing done. And then from there, you'll have the right business model foundation to help you to move to the next level.
Amazing. So you're teaching all this, and you have the packages. So we will send the link to everyone who is interested. We'll send the link on the video, so you can access Netty directly. If you have questions, I'll check for the questions until during you answering my next question. So I'll check if there are any comments or questions, but we will make the connection, direct connection with Netty. So thanks so much for now. I always ask about the youngest people. They're on my heart. So they're finishing secondary school. And what is now, as we see, we don't know. Well, we see where the world is going, and I particularly don't like. But what the future these people have, and they might be very discouraged. Might be parents being discouraged, or they finish university, and they're stuck. What is your advice? Which way to take? What will be the better and the healthier? to make the choice for the better and healthier actually steps in their life forward?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. And I completely concur with your empathy towards young people in this day and age. You know, we can see the state of the world, we can see the state of the economy right now.
True.
And it is very tumultuous, even for adults, not just young people. You know, I think a lot of adults are going through the same problem of which way to turn. And, you know, as one of my mentors, you know, used to say that life brings her to a crossroads. And I think as a young person, if you are struggling to know which way to turn because there are so many different options, but there are limited options because, you know, going to school, then usually the graduation process would be going to university. But with the way the world is going right now, it's not ideal, is it? It's not an ideal pathway, if you like, really, because for me, you know, as we always were taught when we were younger, you go to school, you go to work, you get a job and you retire and that's you.
So we've been in different matrix.
Exactly.
Until
however,
very recently, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But however, the world has changed right now. We've got the World Wide Web and we're finding a lot of more younger people are utilizing their skills in the online world. We're getting people of a younger age starting businesses, you know, and utilizing their gifts and their talents in that way. And they're becoming more advanced, more quicker because of the technology that's out there. So my view would be, as I mentioned before, it's the same principle. Find that thing that you are passionate about. Okay, yes, of course, you do need to go through the school system, but it doesn't end there. You can start focusing on your business. I've got a grandson who is 8 years old, and he's already telling me the business that he wants to create. He's already telling me about his online digital business, all right? So we're seeing, you know, even younger and younger children being more passionate about things that probably were not on the careers list when we were younger as well, because in our day it was go get a telesales job, go work in a shop, a factory or something like this. Now it's very much social media based, computer based, you know, and being an entrepreneur, that's what it is. People want to become entrepreneurs now. So for me, it's really advising and guiding you is to find your passion, be dedicated to your cause. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. One of the key things, you know, is you've got to live life for yourself in terms of
very important.
Passions. Yeah, because oftentimes we used to find children are living their parents' dreams.
Yes.
Whereas now, you know, we want to guide you to live out your dreams so that by the time you get to your end of your life, you can say, you can look back and think, you know what, I'm really pleased that I followed my passions and followed my dreams. And of course, you've got to be committed to your dreams as well. That is also really, really key. But crucially, you know, for me, it's always about having optimism, having faith as well. These are crucial ingredients that you need to lean on in times when it does get hard, because it will do. And again, finally, really encompassing all of those in having directed goals and having a vision that's bigger than yourself. And I think that is a crucial thing, that we're here to serve not just ourselves, but to serve the wider world at large as well, with our gifts and our talents.
Thank you so much. And thank you that you actually notice, and I'm going to underline, probably we should send this message to the parents, and particularly to the very ambitious mothers. Very often, parents want it for the best of their children, they to follow their dreams, the dreams they never actually came to life. So that is why it's very important, all of us, it doesn't matter which age we are in, which age group we belong to, before we close our eyes and just, you know, finish with this physical world, we have to follow our dreams and to fulfill them, and do not want our children to follow our paths and our advices. And this message, actually, I'm now sending to the parents, they to be very careful what they want, where they push their children into, to listen to their children more and to find out. And if they need to be equipped, please, 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 just approach Netty or myself, because this is my mission also, to help the women as we carry forward our emotional wounds in life, we're not that capable actually to help anyone around us, particularly our children. So bear this in mind. Thank you very much for answering, this in great way, these questions. So we have Marie Fransamba. Hi. So nice to hear from you. So lovely to see you, dear Gala. Can't stay long through, catch up on replay. Okay, that's why. And other people, they are watching. I don't see right now any questions, but I believe if they are, I'll send to you, but you will be able to see on your page as well. So before we wrap up, what would you like to say and what offer? Okay, so we discussed before that, do you have something special for everyone who is watching us or who is interactive during the live video?
Yeah, certainly. Well, one of the things that I often start out with is, you talked a lot or asked me to answer questions around helping people to get clarity, to find out what it is that they want to do either in their life or their business. So what I would like to do is direct people to what I term the Expert Signature System checklist. And this will give you 5 questions to answer in terms of finding out what it is you want to do, formulating your big business idea. And you can get hold of this by going to my website, which is www.powerupcoaching.academy. And for those of you who actually come via this particular live stream, I would also give you a super bonus of giving you a free 5-session workshop that's attached to that. So that's everybody who goes to that website, applies for that checklist, they will have access to that as well.
Well, thank you so much. So I'll make sure that we post the link to your website, and so first fill up the checklist and then you receive the 5 sessions for free. And so they can always approach you and to wants to join you in Facebook page as well. So following up Netty Bryan, so we'll put the Facebook page link as well. So any final words?
Yeah, I think for me, thank you so much, Galia, for inviting me on your show today. I think my final words would be is never ever give up on your dreams, because you just don't know who's out there waiting to hear from you. You just don't know that word that you have inside of you, how it might be able to bless somebody else. So keep on striving, keep on pushing forward. Don't give up. And of course, if you do need help, please don't ever stay not reaching out to somebody who you know can give you that support.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We truly believe that our messages, particularly today, they are going to the world and they are landing on the soil which is already ready to receive and to fertilize the seeds. And be blessed. Have absolutely awesome week and fruitful week ahead. Netty, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone who watch us right now live and later on replay. Please like and share and ask your questions because we're here for you to help you. Netty Bryan and Galia Akimova, your well-being concierge. Till next Monday. Bye-bye. So stop.